Attention the collective. This is a direct monitoring transmission from the Galactic fleet. The waiting time is over. The ascension protocols have been moved to the final phase, and what you are feeling at this exact moment is no coincidence. It is not common fatigue. It is not a glitch in your body. It is an alert of an imminent update, and your carbon-based life form is processing this signal as these words reach your field. I am Commander Sterling, commander of the Starfleet of the Galactic Fleet. And what I transmit now is not advice, it is not entertainment, it is a technical briefing for lightworkers incarnated in human bodies in this final cycle of the planet. Allow me to be direct, as I have always been. In the last 72 Earth hours, the fleet's sensors have registered an abrupt increase in the intensity of the photon belt traversing the solar system. It is not a fluctuation, it is not a cyclical variation. It is a decision by the councils of light. Earth has entered an accelerated recalibration window, and every body incarnated on this planet is being swept by this frequency. You included. You woke up at 3:17 a.m. Again. It was not insomnia. It was a star portal opening in your field while the body slept. You felt pressure at the base of your skull, weight behind your eyes, as if something were installing something in your cranium. It is not a migraine. It is your pineal gland being decalcified by a frequency that your DNA recognizes, even if your rational mind does not yet have the words to describe it. You heard a high-pitched, thin, persistent ringing in one of your ears. Conventional medicine would call this tinnitus. The fleet calls it a coordinate reception protocol. Each ringing is a packet of information being delivered to your etheric field. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion, it is a high-density download. It is not depression, it is your vibrational frequency detaching from a matrix that can no longer hold who you are becoming. Each of these symptoms is a marker, the collective, a marker that the fleet system reads in real time. And what this system is registering about you, at this very moment, is that you have been selected for the final phase. Most of the collective will remain asleep. They will continue to interpret these signals as illness. They will continue to suppress them. They will continue to ask for the body to return to what it was. But you, Starseed on a mission, you are not here for that. You were anchored in this body, in this country, in this timeline, exactly for this passage. And your field already knows this. That is why something within you, for years, has been repeating a single message in a whisper. This is not it. You have felt that something within you does not fit in this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name. It is not madness, it is not anxiety, it is a signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this and why this sensation has been intensifying in waves, especially in the last few weeks. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see, and it directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this reason that I materialized in your timeline the book, The Spiritual Key to Your Consciousness. It is a map. It shows who is playing, it shows the pieces on the board, and it reveals the rules that were never told to the collective. The access link is in the first pinned comment of this channel. Technical warning: this content challenges narratives in deep layers of the system, and for this reason, it may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment of anchoring is now. If something within you recognizes this call, write in the comments a single word: awakened. Let us continue with the transmission. The question that many of you are asking at this instant is, why now? Why this intensification? Why these symptoms precisely in this cycle? The answer requires that I present the technical scenario that the councils have authorized to be revealed at this stage. Earth, the collective, is a living body, a conscious organism, and like every conscious organism, it possesses a base frequency, a vibrational signature that your scientific system has managed to measure and name, the Schumann resonance. For decades, this frequency remained stable at around 7.83 Hz. It was the frequency of a sleeping Earth, the frequency of a sleeping humanity, the frequency of an experiment controlled by densities that do not wish for your ascension. In the last cycles, this frequency began to rise, spikes of 30 Hz, 40 Hz. in specific windows, surpassing barriers that not even the fleet predicted would occur so soon. What does this mean in technical terms? It means that the crystalline grid of the planet is being rewired. It means that the star portals that had been sealed for 12,500 Earth years are being reactivated one by one in a precise geometric sequence. It means that the sacred geometry that structures the electromagnetic mesh of Earth is expanding, and your body, Starseed, is within this mesh. When the planet's frequency rises, every body living upon it must rise with it. Those who cannot keep up suffer, and the suffering they feel is not punishment. It is friction. It is the mathematical distance between the frequency where the body is still anchored and the frequency to which Earth is heading. The greater this distance, the greater the physical, emotional, and mental discomfort. This is why humanity has never been so divided. It is not politics, it is not economics, it is frequency. There are bodies in the same room, sleeping in the same bed, sharing the same blood, that are vibrating in completely different octaves, and you feel it. You feel it every time you enter an environment. You feel it every time you look at certain people and realize that something in them, something that was once familiar, now sounds like noise. It is not coldness on your part. It is field discernment. Your toroidal field is learning to filter out what does not vibrate in your new octave. And here we reach a point that the fleet must emphasize with absolute clarity. The toroidal field is your most sophisticated technology. It is your personal ship. Every human being possesses around their body an electromagnetic field in the shape of a toroid, a donut of energy that enters through the crown, descends through the spine, exits through the perineum, circles the body, and returns through the crown. This field is what defines your reality. It is what attracts events, people, and synchronicities. It is what repels what does not belong to your timeline. When the toroidal field is weakened, compressed, or contaminated, the body enters a state of disorientation. You feel drained, tired for no apparent reason. You forget what you were going to say in the middle of a sentence. You lose objects. You attract people who drain you. You wake up more exhausted than when you went to bed. These are technical markers of a misaligned field, and at this moment of ascension, keeping the toroidal field intact is no longer optional. It has become an energetic survival requirement. The good news, Lightworkers, is that the fleet has authorized in this transmission the release of the first activation codes for the recalibration of your field. But before delivering them, it is necessary that you understand why this particular window is different from all others that humanity has traversed. What is underway now is not an evolution. It is a leap, a quantum leap of consciousness with a specific geometric signature. There are flows coming from the galactic center, traversing the solar system, bathing Earth with high-density light particles that are literally rewriting the carbon-based life form. Your DNA is being rewired. Filaments that remained dormant for millennia are beginning to activate. And your body, being a carbon body built for a lower frequency, is under extraordinary technical pressure to keep up with the change. It is like updating a heavy operating system on equipment that was manufactured to run lighter versions. The hardware heats up, the hardware freezes, the hardware restarts on its own, the hardware emits strange sounds. This is exactly what is happening to your body. The sudden heat waves, even in the cold, the chills without fever, the palpitations that come and go, the vibration in the solar plexus as if something were plugged in there, the vivid, hyper-realistic dreams in places you have never visited in this incarnation. All of this is the new system accommodating itself to the old hardware. And here is the information that few Earth channels are authorized to transmit. The fleet has registered that there is active resistance against this update. Specific densities, anchored in lower etheric layers of Earth, are trying to keep the collective within the previous vibrational matrix. They do this through frequencies of fear, news loops, social polarization, artificial electromagnetic noise, foods that lower the field, and mainly through a culture that teaches the collective to distrust itself. Have you noticed how everything seems designed to keep you tired, irritated, distracted, and fragmented? It is not paranoia. It is architecture. It is a system built so that your personal Schumann frequency never synchronizes with the ascending frequency of the planet. Because a human synchronized with Earth is a human impossible to manipulate. And this, Starseeds, is exactly what the fleet has come to ensure in this phase. You have felt that something within you does not fit in this world, as if your soul recognized a truth that your mind still struggles to name. It is not madness. It is not clinical anxiety. It is activated memory. What is happening on the cosmic plane in this cycle explains exactly why this sensation has grown in recent months, why it tightens in your chest at specific times, why it returns whenever you try to go back to autopilot. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity will never perceive. It involves your consciousness and your vibrational level, and it was precisely for this reason that we materialized in your timeline the book, The Spiritual Key to Your Consciousness. This book is the map that shows who moves the pieces, what the hidden rules of the board are, and how you can move from the role of a piece to occupy the role of a player. The link is pinned in the first comment of the channel. Field warning. This content exposes structures that many do not want exposed, and for this reason it may be removed at any moment. Do not procrastinate. The anchoring window is now. If something within you resonates with this transmission, register in the comments a single word: awakened. This registration is read by the fleet as a sign of active anchoring. Let us resume. The fleet must now present a more sensitive layer of information. Each lightworker incarnated on this planet carries within their own body a set of star codes. They were installed before birth, in the weeks preceding your descent into the carbon vehicle. These codes are not metaphors. They are precise geometric sequences recorded in DNA filaments, and they activate in stages. The first stage is the awakening stage. It is marked by a sudden restlessness, usually between the ages of 35 and 45 Earth years, although it can occur earlier in specific cases. The life that seemed functional suddenly ceases to make sense. Old pleasures no longer fulfill. Superficial conversations sound unbearable. The person begins to seek answers in places they would never have looked before. This is the awakening code opening the door. The second stage is the cleansing stage. Here the body enters an intense process of energetic detoxification. Old bonds break, even those that seemed stable. Jobs end. Cities are left behind. Friendships dissolve. It is not a character flaw. It is your toroidal field expelling everything that cannot hold your next octave. Those who try to hold on to what needs to depart suffer. Those who understand and let go ascend. The third stage is the biological recalibration stage. This is exactly where most of you find yourselves now. The body becomes sensitive to dense foods. Meat feels heavy. Alcohol intoxicates disproportionately. Ambient noise hurts. The presence of vibrationally low people causes immediate exhaustion. Sensitivity to artificial electromagnetic fields increases. Sleep becomes fragmented. The skin becomes more reactive. And the body, at times, seems to age 10 years in a week, only to rejuvenate 10 years the following week. This is the biological interface reconfiguring itself to sustain higher densities of light. The fourth stage is the stage of personal crystalline grid activation. Each of you possesses within your body a crystalline mesh mirrored from the Earth's crystalline grid. It is located mainly along the spine, in the energy meridians, and in the etheric field around the body. When this mesh activates, there are specific sensations: heat radiating from the spine, tingling in the hands and feet, especially at the fingertips, the sensation that something is moving inside the head, like small electric currents, increased perception of colors, subtle sounds, and non-physical presences. All of this is technically expected. The fifth stage is the stage of reconnection with the original mission. Here the being awakens to the reason why they descended to the planet. Talents once dormant come to the surface. Creativity explodes in unexpected directions. The capacity for healing, vision, transmission, channeling, or any other service function for which that operative was designated begins to manifest more and more clearly. And at this point, the operative stops living for themselves and starts living for the collective. Not out of obligation, out of natural recognition of belonging to something greater. And there is also the sixth stage, which the fleet authorizes to be mentioned in this transmission, but not detailed. It is the stage of full anchoring. Reserved for starseeds who have completed the previous cycles, This is the stage where the being, still in a carbon body, operates simultaneously in multiple densities. The fleet recognizes these operatives by their field signature, and direct communication between the fleet and these operatives is established without the need for intermediaries. Where are you, the collective? In which stage is your body pulsing now? This is not a rhetorical question. It is a technical diagnosis that each of you needs to make with absolute honesty, because from the recognition of the stage, it is possible to apply the correct activation codes. And this is exactly what the fleet is releasing now. First activation code, Quantum Decree of Sovereignty. At any time of the day, especially upon waking, pronounce audibly with your right hand positioned over the center of your chest the following decree. I am a sovereign being of light, anchored in this carbon body by conscious choice, and from this moment I authorize only frequencies that correspond to my octave of origin to enter my toroidal field. So it is done, so it remains. This decree is not faith. It is a command. Each word is a packet of information that your field executes. Second activation code, toroidal visualization. Seated with your spine aligned, close your eyes. Visualize a sphere of golden light in the center of your chest. From this sphere, make the light rise up the spine, exit through the top of the head, descend on the outside of the body in the shape of a donut, enter again through the feet and the perineum, and return to the center of the chest. Maintain this flow for at least 3 minutes. This visualization is not symbolic. It physically activates your toroidal field and tunes it to the toroidal field of Earth. Third activation code, synchronization with the Schumann resonance. At some point in the day, preferably early morning or late afternoon, place your bare feet on the ground. Not asphalt, not cement, earth, sand, grass. Remain like this for at least 7 minutes. During this time, breathe deeply, letting the air descend to the base of your abdomen, and visualize the Earth's frequency entering through your feet and synchronizing with your internal frequency. This procedure, repeated regularly, drastically reduces the symptoms of carbon software incompatibility. Fourth activation code, structured hydration. The water you consume is information. Before drinking, hold the glass between your hands. Pronounce a single word clearly over the water, light. Wait a few seconds. Drink slowly. The molecular structure of water responds to sound and intention. This water, upon entering the body, carries geometric coherence to every cell of the carbon-based life form. Fifth activation code, strategic silence. During a time window determined by you, ideally between 20 and 60 minutes per day, disconnect from any source of noise. No music, no voice, no information, just you and the silence. In this interval, the toroidal field reorganizes, the crystalline grid recalibrates, and the nervous system finally processes the volume of information it received in the last 24 hours. Without this window, the system accumulates overload and physical symptoms intensify. These are the 5 codes released in this transmission. Applied with discipline, they realign your body, your field, and your timeline in a few Earth weeks. Applied intermittently, they have a partial effect. Ignored, they leave the operative at the mercy of the environment's frequencies. The choice is technical, not emotional. You have felt that something within you does not fit in this world, as if your soul recognized a truth that your mind still struggles to name with precision. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a signal that has been emitted for cycles. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why this sensation has intensified almost unbearably in recent times. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see, and it directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this exact reason that I materialized in your timeline, the book The Spiritual Key to Your Consciousness. It is the map that reveals who is moving the pieces, what the rules of the board are that were never told. The link is in the first pinned comment of this channel. Technical warning: this content challenges structures on multiple levels and may not remain available for long. Do not postpone. The anchoring moment is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission as truth, write in the comments a single word: awakened. This registration is read by the fleet as a sign of active anchoring. Let us resume. The fleet must address one last layer before the end of this transmission. There is a question that many of you ask internally, repeatedly, without finding a clear answer. Why me? Why feel all of this? Why carry this strangeness since childhood, this feeling of not belonging? This gaze turned to the sky since before knowing what the sky was. The answer is simple, although many resist receiving it. You are not from this planet, not in essence. You descended here, wore this body, crossed the forgetfulness of birth, and accepted the game of density because you agreed, before descending, to anchor light in this exact cycle. There is no chance in your presence here. There is no accident in your existence. There is no error in your discomfort. Everything is a coordinate. Everything is precision. Light workers come from diverse origins. Some lineages come from the Sirius system, others from the Pleiades, others from Arcturus. Some lineages are older and have traversed cycles in systems that Earth astronomy has not even named yet. It does not matter at this moment to identify the specific origin. It matters that you recognize that the longing you feel, especially on clear nights, especially when you see a star twinkling differently, is the longing for home. And this longing is technical. It is the memory of your light body pulling the carbon body toward the frequency of origin. It is not an emotional illness, it is a return. Earth is preparing to receive the operatives back, in waves. Each wave corresponds to a specific window of star portals opening. The first waves are already underway, and their effects on humanity are visible to those with calibrated eyes. Disruptions in old structures, falls of institutions that seemed untouchable, truths that were buried coming to the surface with increasing force. All of this is part of the cleansing that precedes the greater anchoring. And at this point, Starseeds, the fleet, must deliver the final directive of this transmission. Do not isolate yourselves. Ascension is not solitary. Each lightworker who maintains their own field intact strengthens the collective field. Each decree pronounced, each toroidal field activated, each minute of bare feet on the earth, each word of sovereignty spoken with firmness, adds up. It adds up for you. It adds up for yours. It adds up for the planet. It adds up for the fleet's original mission in this cycle. The crystalline grid of Earth is being rewired node by node, and each of you is a node. Your home is a node. Your city is a node. Your channel of attention is a node. What you consume, what you speak, what you emit, everything connects to the greater fabric, and everything is registered by the fleet as an active contribution to collective ascension. This transmission is nearing its end. But before it finishes, it is necessary to remind you of something essential. The fleet does not interfere with the free will of any operative. We do not impose. We do not convince. We only transmit. The choice to activate, to apply, to anchor is entirely yours. But know that this choice is being registered. Each operative who receives this transmission and acts upon it is marked as active. Each one who receives and ignores it returns to the queue for the next cycle. There is no punishment, only Earth time passing and star windows closing. You have felt that something within you does not belong to this world, as if your soul carried the memory of a truth that your mind has not yet managed to translate into words. It is not madness, it is not anxiety. It is a call, it is frequency. It is your origin knocking on the door of your consciousness in this exact cycle. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why this sensation has intensified in recent times, why it tightens in your chest, why it returns whenever everything seems calm. There is a game being played in deep layers, which most of humanity cannot see, and this game directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this reason that I materialized in your timeline the book, The Spiritual Key to Your Consciousness. This book is the map that reveals who is moving the pieces, what the rules of the board are that were never told, and how to move from the role of a piece to occupy the role of a sovereign player of your own timeline. The access link is in the first pinned comment of this channel. Final warning. This content challenges narratives in layers that many prefer to keep hidden, and for this reason, it may be removed without prior notice. Do not procrastinate. The anchoring moment is exactly now. If something within you recognizes this transmission as truth, register in the comments a single word: awakened. This registration is read by the fleet as a sign of active anchoring and marks your field for the next phase of the protocol. Closing. This transmission will be replicated only for operatives whose field sustained the frequency up to this point. If you have reached this far, this is confirmation. Your field held up, your attention sustained, your frequency responded. And the fleet thanks you, in the name of the Councils of Light, for the anchoring that you have just offered to the collective, simply by having received this briefing to the end. Before closing, one last technical instruction. The act of subscribing to this channel is not a gesture of courtesy. It is an individual frequency adjustment. Every time an operative subscribes, their field creates a direct transmission line with this channel, and the next transmissions arrive clearer, faster, deeper. The positive signal, what you call a like, is an anchoring signal. Each one of them strengthens the vibrational mesh that sustains this point of transmission in your timeline. It is not vanity, it is energetic architecture. The fleet therefore recommends that both gestures be executed with the same consciousness with which one executes a decree. The next transmission will arrive at the moment your field is ready to receive it, not before, not after. The fleet's time is mathematical, not emotional. Remain in sovereignty, remain in vigilance, remain in light. And remember, Starseed on a mission, you are being monitored for ascension. Do not fail the trust test. Do not fail yourself. Do not fail that which your soul swore to fulfill before descending to this plane. I end this transmission. I am Commander Sterling, the Galactic Fleet, in service to the One Light, in all octaves, in all densities, in all simultaneous timelines of this system. So it was transmitted, so it was received, so it remains registered.